Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very 24th episode of Cool Down Timer. I am Neefu, and with me today I am joined by Zingles Artman.
Screw your chivalry! Screw it!
And from the frozen wastelands of Alaska, Mark Hamilton.
Cat on a hot tin roof. It's actually melting, you guys.
Really?
There's only like 4 inches of solid ice on the ground right now.
So, I've got some wonderful news for everybody that basically just means that we've stuck something out longer than we've stuck out anything else before in our lives.
I'm really hyper tonight.
This episode marks the 6-month anniversary. We've been on the air for 6 months or something like that. Yay!
Yay!
Cool Down Timer is 6 months old.
Time for a birthday cake.
Party
Half
favors.
birthday cake.
On the 1-year anniversary, we will have cake on the podcast.
I'm down
We will
with that.
have our cake.
No, I'm not down with that. Because I'm a pie guy. I always have pie on my birthdays.
Yeah, but we're having cake for the It'll be the podcast's first birthday.
The podcast is going to grow up having sophisticated tastes, and it's going to enjoy pie.
Look, I don't even like cake.
Fine.
Cake is just
You know what?
a sugary bread.
Fine. We'll compromise here. We'll take a cake and a pie. We'll have a cobbler.
No, it's got to be cake.
You seem very dedicated to this cake.
The podcast needs to experience for its first birthday. It's got to blow the candles out, and we still got to have
So
a
what?
year.
And then what? You're gonna put the cake in front of the metaphysical construct that is the podcast and watch it smear its face with icing?
The podcast is like a corporation. It is legally a person in 3 states. Texas, Nebraska, and Alabama.
Those are oddly specific states. Have any of us even been there? I've been to Texas once.
Zam was born in Texas.
Oh yeah, I always forget that.
Yeah, I have relatives in Alabama.
I don't remember what state. Alabama, Nebraska, and Texas?
I don't remember.
But when I
don't
remember
remember either.
that you were born in Texas, it makes sense to me because you look dang good in a cowboy hat.
We should post some pictures of you in a cowboy hat when you were
No.
working at the farm.
No,
You look like you
Gotta
can
have something
rustle
for the people to
cattle.
look at.
I do and have.
That's putting those genetics to work. You're just in a field of cows. You look around, you say, "My people."
Speaking of animals, something really, 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 really depressing happened in my life this week. A cat that I have had for 10 plus years. We've talked about them in the past. There was the indoor cat and the outdoor cat. This is the outdoor cat. She got really, really, really sick and died,
She's in her better place.
and it was really depressing.
Not outside.
I guess, yeah. No, and I don't know. I was really down last weekend because of that, because that cat has been there basically as long as I remember. And I mean, yeah, like, oh, I remember when I was 6 or whatever, but no, that cat came around when I was 10 or 11 and just stuck around, and I don't know. I've cried many times this past week over this cat.
Last
Steady on. Stiff upper lip. Wait, you're not British.
take a stiff upper lip and add a stiff lower lip, and then you won't make. I don't
Actually,
know.
I believe your cultural and ethnic heritage is totally acceptable for you to get emotional about that.
Oh gosh, no, dude. Hispanic people get emotional over everything. We're out of cheese!
Good God!
I was like,
You finally stopped jump scaring me in amnesia, and you start doing it now on the normal podcast.
Hey, more seriously, I'm sorry about your cat.
oh, dude, I don't know. It sucked because, well, I mean, yes, death
Do you
sucks,
want to
but
buy a new one?
no. Because she would be there every time we would open the front door. Every time she would be there just meow.
Going, let me in or I'm gonna die.
Oh, she'd always just casa food.
Winter is coming.
Casa food.
Winter is here.
And whenever we would show up,
Winter is.
whenever we would pull in our cars, she would come meet us at our cars. And one time I was sitting in the car chatting with my mom, and she just hops on the windshield and is just staring at me through or she hops on my hood and just starts staring at me through the windshield. I don't know. I'm gonna really miss that cat.
Sorry, this is a funny podcast, so I can't stay serious.
Sunrise, sunset.
I have a feeling that you're referencing something, but I have no idea.
The
All right,
circle of life.
Let's have a
Yeah.
let's have a moment of silence for the cat. All right, the moment of silence has been cut out for timing's sake. So
I sneezed. We gotta do it again. Okay, that's better. That's better.
That was a better moment of
I
silence.
really like that one.
that's a nice long
You know, let's
one.
do another one for old time's sake.
I got to go downstairs anyway.
Yeah, that was good.
This is
That was
we're
good.
really beating this dead horse. This joke is done.
Okay, so
Just so
that
you guys know, we never actually cut anything.
What?
We were not silent.
so that's how my week started out. It has then concluded with one of my favorite YouTube channels losing two of its major hosts.
Like they died?
No, they left to do other things with their lives.
Whew. Well, I'm glad they're not dead.
I don't know,
I
man.
thought that was it last week. Was last week the dark one?
Yeah, last week was the one where we were talking about cutting.
That one wasn't actually that dark, though.
That,
Let's talk about things that aren't inherently depressing.
I'm just talking about what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, but right now your life sucks. So let's
Sam,
talk about
you-
something else.
You remember that that Flash cartoon artist, Ed, from Ed's World, who made those funny Flash
Yes,
videos?
he did die. Yes.
Yes, he died of leukemia. It was quite sad.
Well, on that happy note,
I think the cat died of cat leukemia.
my rat has cancer.
Oh, no!
Serious?
Does he have cancer all the time or just in California? I told you not to have him smoke that many packs of cigarettes a day.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh about it, right?
Wow, this really is going to be another depressing episode. All right, everybody, pick up your razor blades and let's get into
On the
this.
count of three, everybody. 1, 2.
We do not condone cutting.
Gosh.
No, anyway, let's actually talk about something happy.
We can salvage this. So, I was thinking about World War II recently.
Okay. So I recently found out that I was a part Jew, like a 32nd or a 16th Jewish.
Mazel tov.
Holocaust jokes have a whole new, feeling for me now. Because it's just like, oh, right. In a sense, those were my people, kind of.
Let my people go.
I don't know.
Oh, that makes me think of something relevant, but it's not happy.
Just do it.
I guess it's just one of
roll
those
with it.
Days. Sorry if I offend anyone. I'm going to be
Well,
trying
I
to
just want
salvage
to
this
say,
into something funny.
I kind of know what you mean. Have you ever read The Grapes of Wrath?
Is that the one that ends with the chick breastfeeding a homeless guy?
Wait, wow.
Yes, that's the one. There you go.
That sounds like something that happened in
Yeah,
Game of
you read it.
Thrones. And it probably has.
Okay. After you tell your story, remind me to tell you a story about this play.
Okay. Well, it's a big book where, we had to read it in high school, and most people were like, ugh, this book, because it is very long. It's very sort of depressing. It's dry. Sometimes one whole chapter is just about a turtle trying to make its way across the desert, and it's a metaphor, but
A metaphorical
but I
turtle.
loved it, and the only reason I loved it, I think, is because I had recently been talking with my dad about our family history, and I found out on my dad's side, my great grandparents were from the Midwest and had to leave their farm because of the Dust Bowl and moved to California and became migrant workers, which is the plot of Grapes of Wrath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So reading it, I'm like, this is like I'm reading about my past. And it really grounded it for me. Like, this is my people. Oh, no. No, everything's so horrible for my people.
I don't have people.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a people. I have a single person in my history that I know of.
Laura Ingalls.
Yes.
Wilder.
Oh, I was wondering how many episodes it would take to name drop Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Zams and Ingalls. Hence the Zingles.
Other than that, I'm just Welsh or something.
So wait, how is that supposed to be sad and depressing?
Well, the Grapes of Wrath is depressing
Grapes of
because,
Wrath.
they lose their farm, they can
yeah.
move to California, they have to work for pennies, people starve to death. And honestly, that's what happened to my great-grandparents. They were migrant workers in California for a long time.
They breastfed homeless
No.
men?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. Could be. Could be. Doubt it. Possible.
We may have broke him.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Moving on. Are you done with your story?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I shall tell you a story. So I was homeschooled growing up. Well, for middle school and high school, I was homeschooled. Shut up, go away.
You really had to make that more complicated than it needed to be.
Dude, I spent 10 minutes telling you a story last week just to tell you the punchline, and I just
No, and I kept trying. Anyway,
and we had a big lipped alligator moment about
big fat lipped alligator.
a big lipped alligator moment. Because I know the reference now. Because you guys forced me to go on a wild goose chase to go find a video to try to explain that to the people.
You could have just asked me, and I would have told you.
No, I mean you guys talked about it, but I mean the reference.
It wouldn't have been a
the big lipped alligator moment.
if you hadn't. It wouldn't have been a big fat lipped wild goose
I was gonna
chase.
say a big fat alligator.
A moderately sized alligator moment with lips. Anyway,
So I was
went-
homeschooled. No, let's never bring it up again.
I could have told you the exact video where that
what?
was invented.
Yeah, you gave us the backstory about it last week.
Yep. That was from the Fern Gully episode of Nostalgia Critic, a crossover with the Nostalgia Chick.
Ferngully.
If I'm gonna eat somebody, it might as well be you. Yeah, I watched that.
Anyway, so you were homeschooled.
I was home. Got wrapped up in the cables. I was homeschooled when I was growing up, and it was, again, like I kind of had a very conservative Christian upbringing, as most of us did. I took a different route with it over the last couple years, but that's life. Where was I going with the Grapes of Wrath?
That
right,
doesn't
okay.
matter. You were homeschooled.
So we went up to Seattle to go see a production. Shut up. We went up to Seattle to go see a production of this, and they said words in the play like bitch. And the ending had the chick breastfeeding a homeless person.
That would have been really awkward. Because, I mean, for those actors, just saying.
Well, I mean, it's strongly implied. You didn't actually see it.
Well, you never know. There's freaking weird stuff in plays.
But everybody in the group that we were with was so offended by it.
Oh, really?
And the teacher had us, as one of the assignments, she encouraged us all to write angry letters to the theater about the fact that there was language in a book or in a play that's based off about that book. I mean, you'd figure that if the stuff's in the book, it'd be in the play. Yeah, that's the end of my story.
That's silly. I mean, moving on. Man, we are just in a mood tonight.
One of the things that I enjoyed about homeschooling were those days where I really wasn't interested in doing homework and I would just play Warcraft 3 all day.
I forgot that there was a time when you played Warcraft 3.
I don't know. I enjoyed the story. Silly.
Wait. What? I didn't know this. I liked the story.
I'm the story guy.
Yeah, but Warcraft 3 was my thing.
Oh my gosh, can we turn down that heater,
you
please?
Can flip the switch on it, yeah.
I had a random topic, but it wasn't really random.
G.I. Joes.
What's your topic?
Yeah, that random. Because we were talking about a recent episode of Community, the G.I. Joe episode. And then that made me think of the G.I. Joe movie and how, even though I've never seen the G.I. Joe show, I actually could appreciate the G.I. Joe movie, and I despise the sequel they made to it. And it's weird.
We're talking the live action ones.
Yeah. I hated the first one.
I saw neither of them.
I don't think They're one of those movies that were like there's just they don't stay in your head. It's just like for me anyway. I was just like
you'll forget it in T minus.
I forgot it before I was done watching it.
It's not really a great movie, you know. But as I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this feels something like it gets the source material. And I don't even know the source material that well, but everyone's got cool gadgets, you know. It's very big on the gadgets. It's big about huge, ridiculous characters, you know. And
so that sounds like about the time where James Bond jumped a shark before they fixed it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie that's got a character named Dr. Mindbender who brainwashes people. And I'm like, okay, the fact that they're doing this at all means they're getting with what the original series was, which was, I would imagine, cheesy in just that fashion.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
So I kind of just like, okay, I can enjoy this, you know, as a thing. They're really sticking to this cheesy spirit. And then the second movie came out, and they made it gritty. They literally killed almost all of the characters from the first show.
I did watch it.
All the good guys.
That's all I remember.
There was no real cool gadgets. There was no cheesy action sequences or anything like that. And the bad guys blow up London at the end of it.
The second one felt more like a generic action movie, where the first one was definitely campy.
Yes, and it's like, okay, well, you just took my, yes, this sucks, but it's a nice homage that I can enjoy, and gave me no, we removed the homage and kept the suck.
And Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis.
Like, can you imagine one of those classic, like, kids action cheesy cartoons that would let the bad guys blow up a city? Especially freaking London? Like one of the most populated cities in the friggin' world. Millions of people died in that movie.
Yeah, no, because it's only happened in Pokemon. Where
Pokemon.
I don't know, like I overthink everything. So when I used to be watching this, what?
Tell us about your Star Trek thoughts.
Oh, well, if anybody actually watches Star Trek, they'll probably have some arguments against this. But I was watching Voyager, and I noticed that they explained off why all of the aliens conveniently speak English with a universal translator thing. However,
also known as better than Stargate's explanation.
However, first off, all of the aliens' lips still move to the English word. So explain that one, Mark.
It's not my job to defend Star Trek.
All right.
Listen.
And
you don't get uppity when everyone speaks English on Stargate except for the Egyptian aliens.
Stargate kind of sucks.
You just roll with it.
Anyway,
so just roll with
so
it.
I try to roll with it because, I mean, it's Star Trek. So I'm watching it and stuff, and I'm like, huh. So, and then I'm watching, I'm like, okay, so in here, they're, you know, this is an alien species that they have literally never, ever come in contact with. Which means that this is a completely new language. Which means that this communicator can actually translate languages that nobody has ever heard before. Meaning it probably works on some kind of mind power, or not mind power, but, thoughts and emotions more than actual, like, words and meaning. I was like, well, that's kind of neat. But if that's the case, and they don't actually have anything on them that does this, as far as I can tell, because there's episodes where they lose their little badge and stuff, and they can still understand what aliens say. That means it may be implanted, but that doesn't make sense because the other aliens can understand them talking in English. So maybe it's like an aura or something. It doesn't matter. It's a MacGuffin god piece thing. But
I can
hold on.
Keep going.
Hold on. So if that's the case, then we can assume that this works everywhere. Everyone on Earth can understand each other. So if that's been going on for a long time, what has happened to language? It's lost all of its power because there's no reason to have to even teach a language anymore. Because if this can communicate emotions and thoughts, then it's very possible that everyone's actually just speaking gibberish or very broken versions of different languages. So what would happen if something as powerful as Starfleet, something as big and powerful as Starfleet, lost that technology completely? What would happen to
You
them?
took it to a neat place. It's always good when you can take a nitpick to a neat place.
So there may be a future comic covering this.
Though I do have an explanation for exactly how these translators work, even when nothing's around to translate, even when they've never met the aliens before.
How?
Okay? Tachyon flux capacitors.
Wow, you do have an answer. Okay, go into this.
No, by that I mean it's Star Trek. They say universal translators, and that gives you, that's an agreement between the TV show and you to say, I'm going to stop thinking about this. Just like when they get in trouble and one of the engineers says, there's a tachyon flux in the manifold. And that's a little agreement. Oh, we're going to pretend that meant something, and that something is wrong.
Jargon, gibberish, gibberish.
Didn't we stumble upon
technobabble.
like a technobabble generator?
Yes, that was so much fun. We were playing a sci-fi.
That was when we were playing Fate.
Yeah, but basically we were playing it's like D&D, like a role-playing game. But we
had a whole episode dedicated to it.
It was
Go back and listen to it.
It was set
But
on.
I guess we haven't had a whole lot of listeners. Go back and listen to it. Once upon a time.
It was set.
Once upon a time there was a chicken.
Set in a futuristic sci-fi universe because worlds would be anyway. We kept having to come up with all this technobabble, so we actually found a technobabble generator, and it was great just to be able to throw in things.
I just found it again, so we could say, like, Captain, something's wrong with the thermal flux harmonics. I think an atmospheric neutrino matrix has just ruptured in the quantum flux interface.
It's a great system. Oh, it was fun.
So,
I just want to tell you guys that this is not the end of the episode, but if you want to find the things that we do, you can find us on Facebook at Straight Up Neefu Zingles Art Man, and on WordPress at thepagenebula.wordpress.com. I'm doing this in the middle of the episode so that you actually have to listen to it. So there, continue.
If you're skipping, you can skip to here.
But no, I like how you took a nitpick and you made it into a fan conspiracy theory. That's the most beautiful thing you can do. I have one of those about
Ooh,
Star Trek
tell.
Voyager, which I hear you've started watching.
Yeah.
It's
They did
about
just
the
say what?
Doctor.
The Doctor.
For those who don't know, the Doctor is a holographic doctor program on Voyager.
He's an emergency backup.
Yeah, but pretty much, and you can confirm or deny this, but pretty much from the beginning, they treat him like he's a human being. Like he's got thoughts and emotions and desires and is not just a robot.
Though they did the same thing with Data.
Yes, but okay, here's the thing. As the series goes on, he gets the occasional episode that's all about him and all about how he's more than just a hologram. He's like a person, and it gets really big near the end. But pretty much from the beginning, they taught him as they treat him as if he's like a person. He just happens to be made out of light and is from a computer program. Okay, now Star Trek: The Next Generation. We have Data. He's a
We talk about sci-fi a lot.
highly advanced android that the whole purpose of him is to try to create sort of a cybernetic human, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the whole reason he was made, but he struggles with it through the whole series. He doesn't get emotions very easily. He doesn't get jokes. He's obviously a robot.
I just love scanning for life forms. Life forms, do-do-do-do-do. You pretty little life forms, be-do-do-do-do. Link in the description.
I hate you. Now I gotta go find
so for
that.
Data, a machine built specifically to be a human machine, it is very hard for him to actually be human. He has to learn it. It takes a long time. The Doctor starts out that way. But he was not designed to be human. What he was designed to do was to simulate humanity to make it easier to do his job.
Yes, because he's a doctor. That makes sense.
Yes. Now, so on one hand we got Data, designed to be human, takes him a long time to figure it out. On the other hand, we have the Doctor, designed to simulate humanity, and he acts and people treat him as if he's human from the very beginning. Now, my crazy theory is I don't think the Doctor really has emotions or desires. I think he's just really good at pretending to.
Right, because he's a simulation, and they pretty much tell you that. I mean, for the most part.
Yes, but no, as you watch, they do not believe what they tell you.
Yeah.
there's going to be tons of episodes about how he really does have feelings and emotions and rights. And there's even a whole episode near the end about getting rights for advanced holographic
Weird
programs.
Well, they are already kind of doing the...
And I love the Doctor.
I do too. He's kind of fun.
Yeah, but it's scary to think that maybe everything we love about the Doctor is just a lie. It's just a finely crafted lie.
And they're already starting to do the hinted romance at him and this space elf chick. I'm an alien because my ears are pointy and they have holes in them, so I'm obviously not a Vulcan.
Exactly. He has romances, he does art and other things, but all of that could just be his simulation, his programming.
I have a theory about the cook. He sucks.
Aw, that's everyone's theory about Neelix. I actually like Neelix, but then again, I didn't think Jar Jar was the worst thing in the world. He was annoying.
Okay,
that was
my thoughts on him are after I saw Wesley and you were like, yeah, Voyager has the crappy character too. He's the cook, and I'm like, oh, Wesley makes him look darn near
Who
perfect.
is Wesley?
Wesley is Mark. You're better at this.
He's like this kid who's a prodigy or something, so he's working on the Enterprise, and he's a know-it-all, and he knows everything, and he's often right, and he's just insufferable.
All of these trained Starfleet people will miss the simplest things, but luckily Wesley's there to figure it out for them. And the badass, hard-ass Captain Picard lets him on the bridge, even though there's no reason why he should.
That guy.
He's so annoying.
I recently watched the first handful of episodes of
so
Next
And
Generation.
there's a trope named after him on TV Tropes, just
Gotta love
the
that website.
Wesley. And the Wesley is a character that the audience hates, but the writers love. So they keep giving him plot points and episodes based around him.
He literally has a line in one of the episodes that just finished Next Generation for me, where he was just like, silly adult, and just shook his head and walked off, and I was like, I want to strangle you. My mom and dad love Next Generation. My little brother's name is Riker, after Commander Riker.
Yep.
But
so that was another week of ranting about Star Trek and the Stargate.
dang it, I have to draw another friggin' star something picture. That's
we need to
3 in
talk
a
about
row.
something else to give us something else for the
far
picture.
we have Superman, Star
Artemis.
generic.
Just draw a picture of a dead cat and a homeless man.
Or all three of us beating a dead horse.
Vote.
Well, they won't have
Yeah.
heard this until the
I
picture's
know.
already up.
I
You'll
know.
see what we decided.
Or will you? I'm making faces at the mic, but it's
Favorite
not doing
70s and 80s cartoon.
anything.
Wow, that's an odd question.
Jeez, did I watch anything from the 70s and 80s?
What, like Flintstones, Jetsons? I think they're 70s and 80s. They could be earlier.
You just named both of mine.
Johnny Quest. I don't know where that fit in.
Scooby-Doo? That was
Yeah, it's in there
older.
somewhere.
I watched that a little bit.
Old cartoons.
You gotta remember, when I was a kid, I didn't have TV. I didn't watch a lot of cartoons or anything.
You lived in a sock.
Like, it was a big sock.
I have a lot of... As a kid, I'd say the Flintstones and Jetsons were the only old cartoons I knew about.
I'm now watching Dragon Ball Z. That's old.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, that's gonna make me rant about something else. What are you doing?
Hey!
No, stop!
No, it was great. They're always like, wait, what are you saying? You're standing in that position that does the Kamehameha wave, but you couldn't possibly... Oh god, it's the Kamehameha! I never saw that one coming. I did not have chance to block that.
So, okay.
We live in a turn-based society dominated by Japanese role-playing games. Hold on.
Talking is a free action.
Punch me now. I'll wait.
So I have recently had this weird desire to get back into anime and check out, anime again, and I've missed anime because anime used to be a big part of my life and all that jazz. But
I now miss the point of anime.
so yeah.
In the mirror.
So I've basically been checking out all the kind of more popular animes that have come out recently, and they tend to fit into one of two categories. Category A, they are drenched in sexual fan service. Oh my gosh. I have no desire to watch it. I realize that it's a different culture, but I have very little respect for people who rely on that for the proper popularity of their
it's
show.
funny that you bring that up, because just something quick that I've noticed and had pointed out to me, a lot of anime will have gratuitous fan service and panty shots and ridiculousness, but nobody ever has sex.
Yeah.
Because that's taboo.
Yeah, I mentioned this to Neefu the other day. I think.
And here in America we got, there's shows like, I don't know if they still exist, but like
Game of Thrones.
No, I'm thinking like more aimed at a high school crowd, like Dawson's Creek or something. Those kind of soapy shows where people are having sex all the friggin' time. They talk.
Soapy shows make me want to go take a shower.
That would never happen in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. But
yay, different cultures.
Yeah, different cultures. We love them.
And then the second thing is, if it's not drenched in fan service, it's a high school story.
90% of them are high school stories.
I don't know. Part of me was just looking for another anime like Last Exile, and I came close, but no, it just ended up being another high school anime.
A great one.
What is it?
Just pick. No, wait. I know one you would like, Neefu. Cowboy Bebop. Watch Cowboy Bebop.
Well, no, and that's the other thing, is that I've realized that the only animes that I've heard about, that I've looked into, that I actually have any interest in watching, are like 10, 15 years old.
Cowboy Bebop is good.
Well, yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is
and you would like it because it's more depressing.
Such a depressing
and you like that
ending.
Story.
Just so you know, it's like the only part I remember of the entire show, and I just remember it was stinking depressing. But yeah, great anime. I actually watched it when I was a kid, and like just totally forgot to mention.
I
it
lived in a sock and had no TV.
Watch Pokemon.
No, that's repetitive and boring.
I was building up to a stupid.
I like that. Pause. No, I'm not gonna do it.
No, I hate the Pokemon. I mean, I have a huge soft spot for it, but it's painful to sit through because it is the same episode every single time.
And on that repetitious note, we have come to the end of episode 24. The next handful of episodes are actually going to be a bit shorter than usual because we are trying to build a bit of a buffer, because there's going to be a period of about a month and a half where we're not going to actually be able to do a lot of recording, so we're trying to record as many as we can right now. So if you would like to know more about us, do the things, check out the things that we do.
Gobbledygook.
We got Facebooks, we got Twitters that we never use, we got WordPresses, we got Page Nebulas, we got YouTubes.
Seductive voice.
I don't know. Any closing thoughts from anybody?
Hold on, hand me that stick. Whack. Beats dead horse.
The doctor frightens me with his humanity. I don't know. I like the doctor. I don't care if he's a soulless abomination.
He puts the lotion in the basket.
Also, what language is the doctor speaking?
He's speaking hologram. If you turned off the translator, he'd sound like a
Fair enough.
dial-up modem.
And how can you if it's reading thoughts and emotions, how can it read a hologram or an android? Well, I mean, maybe an android.
It doesn't read thoughts and emotions.
And
it translates languages, even when it makes no sense that it would be capable of doing that. Because, as I said, the word universal translator is an agreement between yourself and the TV show not to think about this and to have fun.
And I am having fun, but I'm having fun with my theory as well.
And on the topic of agreements between the fan and the show, See you next week for Cool Down Timer the Musical. Goodbye, everybody!
Okay. I'm so down. Cool down timer, yeah.